व्ययन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षु श्रोत्रमथो बलमेन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरते य उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Om. May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, the mind, all the sensory organs and motor organs too, and the life force attain efficiency and perfection. All is verily the one without second, ever blissful, ever conscious, one without second, all pervading existence itself, called Brahman. May I never deny this truth of Brahman, the oneness of blissful existence. May this truth never reject me either. May all the blessed virtues spoken of by the scriptures as necessary to experience this truth in life be with me. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Let us feel the oneness of the whole existence. Although there is the multiplicity in appearance, if we meditate, then we can see the oneness. You know animal crackers. They all have different shapes. One is a camel-shaped, another is a crocodile shape, there is a deer-shaped, a bear-shaped, and so forth. Let me imagine I am one of them. identifying myself with a deer. I see myself to be different from all other different animal crackers. I feel better, superior to some. I feel inferior to some others. I feel some animals are friendly to me. Some others inimical. I am a deer in a huge heap of all other animal crackers. But I think of examining what is inside. And I understand and experience with wonder that in spite of variety in shapes, I am same as all others, essentially. All of us are different only in shapes. Even physically speaking, our bodies have the same material, same fundamental particles. just the difference of shape, nothing more. And again, those shapes keep on changing. They appear and disappear. I am the true substance in all of them. I do not die even if the shape is destroyed. I have no fear. I have no suffering. I am bliss itself. Om. Peace, peace, peace. It was on here. Are your ears open? Are your ears open? Huh? Your mind was not probably receiving. So, dear friends, in the ongoing study of this great scripture, Srimad Bhagavatam, we are now beginning the new chapter, that it is the chapter 15. You may wonder what happened to the chapters from 10 to 14. These 5 chapters that actually we are just summarizing them because there is nothing very important. Okay, that there, yeah. So, thank you, dear. So we shall take a gist of those chapters, 4 chapters, and then go to chapter 15th, which gives the very well-known tale of the incarnation of Vamana avatar. Lord appears in the form of a little Brahmin boy, and then sends the demon Bali uh, to the nether worlds. Anyway, so this is the incarnation of God is a beautiful concept, very important concept. We shall briefly see it. Let us begin at the beginning. That is, we shall have the opening chant. So chant loudly. जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity, who illumined the mind of Brahma with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of even the greatest sages, in whom the world of the three gunas subsists, just as the combination of materials like fire, water, and earth subsist in their causes without changing their elemental nature, in whose consciousness there is nothing false. On that truth supreme we meditate. So this is telling that this is all actually meditation on truth supreme. There are all these different stories. They are just to facilitate this kind of meditation on truth supreme. And we have earlier discussed many times what is the meaning of truth supreme. The truth supreme where there is no context is required. Other truths that we see, they are contextual. Means in one context they are true, change the context and then they are not true. So this is the truth supreme, of which all the relative truths are partial and distorted appearances. Partial, distorted, changing appearances. These are the relative truths. The supreme truth is that which forms the basis for all of them. When we try to trace the origin of any relative truth, we reach the supreme truth. So this is like a beautiful analogy Shankaracharya gives in the Dakshinamurti Stotra, that there is a pitcher with multiple holes, and a bright light is kept in that pitcher. Now, those who do not directly see the light, they are seeing the expressions of that light through various holes. The holes are of different sizes, different shapes, and so the light coming out through these holes also seems to assume different shapes, different sizes. But actually, they are all manifestations. None of the holes has any light. The light is coming from the light kept inside the jar. So similarly, whatever we perceive through the mediacy of our sense organs, mind, intellect, and so forth, they are instruments. Through these instruments, what we perceive gets colored by those instruments. So therefore, they are called relative truths. These relative truths and the supreme truth is that Lamb. when we transcend these instruments like the holes, when we go beyond that and we see that beyond senses, beyond mind and intellect, then we come face to face. This is just an expression. You may ask, hey, how can, if you transcend all the organs and body, how can you come face to face? This is just a way of saying. That means it is a direct perception. So, this is what is called the supreme truth. All relative truths, they uh, philosophically and logically presume a supreme truth, of which these relative truths are manifestations. So, these relative truths, they indicate the supreme truth, and through that we meditate on what is the supreme truth. We look for those things, even in physical sciences. We look for those things, that how, where from this comes, what is the origin of this, and we try to go beyond the shape and try to see what is the origin. And that also is an attempt to find this supreme truth that transcends relativity. It is one thing to see the truths that we see as relative. Another thing is to take one of these relative truths to be supreme and then transcend the relative truths to reach the supreme truth. Many times uh, one becomes really fanatic when one takes one of the relative truths to be the supreme truth. So, this is not that, but where you transcend the relativity and thus arrive at what is the supreme truth, of which the absolute truth, it doesn't depend on context. So, uh, by transcending the context, we reach the supreme truth. So, this is the subject of meditation here, and this meditation in different uh, scriptures, according to the class of those scriptures, this meditation is done differently. Like there are philosophical scriptures like Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita, they elucidate these truths uh, in a philosophical manner. They don't allegorize those through stories. But in these scriptures called Puranas, uh, the Puranas are meant for those uh, whose minds do not uh, get to philosophy, or even if it goes, it doesn't stick in that, and which is the case of all of us, at least almost all of us, that we do not find the study of the philosophical text very interesting. After reading one page or so, we first start yawning, and then we do not even remember when we fell asleep. Even if so, therefore, uh, this technique is used, that okay, that you like to hear stories, isn't it? Through those stories, then these truths are imparted. These stories are like, that needle through which a medication is pushed into the body. That when you get a shot, what is it? It is not just the needle. It is there is a medicine and that gets pushed through that, and then the needle comes out. The medicine remains. Exactly like that, the stories are those needles. Through this story, you insert the uh, truth, supreme truth, and that stays there. The needle comes out, and it is also uh, two things are told, that one is what the truth is, and secondly, how to attain to that truth, the path to get there. Like Jesus says that I am the goal, I am the way, both. That Jesus exemplifies the goal, and he is a human being. He is divine as goal, and he is a human being as path. That how to attain to that goal? Follow in those footsteps of Jesus. So that is how the purpose of a God incarnation is. It is that in the Vedantic scriptures, this idea has been very beautifully philosophically presented. In especially you find it wonderfully elucidated in Bhagavad Gita, that what is the meaning of this God incarnation and why God has to come again and again. In the Christian schools, when I go to give talks there to the students, teachers, I point out to this, that you accept incarnation of God, we also accept. The difference is you think that it was just once. Once in the whole history of humankind, that God assumed a human form, that of Jesus, and that's it. Never before, never after. We don't think like that. We see that as per the need, whenever such a need arises, then the God to teach humanity, the idea is same, the goal and the way. It manifests as a human being. So therefore we have the stories of various ways in which God manifests, and then goes through various plays. We had many stories, like the previous incarnation that we saw here was Narasimha. The story of Prahlada. That Prahlada, he met God in the form of Narasimha. His father Hiranyakashipu also met God in the form of this man lion. So it was the need of that time. So we had discussed that. Now the another incarnation, that the purpose remains the same, to educate, to show human beings the path. So we were seeing the very enchanting, wonderful, highly educative story of the churning of the ocean. It is that we saw that ultimately only the devas, the angels, the good people, they got the elixir or amrita, and although the demons also worked hard for that along with devas, it was a cooperative endeavor taken up by the devas as well as asuras. Suras and asuras means the angels and demons. And this is a beautiful allegory that both these tendencies are in us. Long back, and I like that incident, so I repeat, I tell it again and again in such classes that we were having a class for little children. Children from a different school had come, and we were having a little chat. I was telling some stories, and then I asked, "You are all good children, but are you all always good?" So one little girl, she did her hands like that. I mean, sometimes I am good, sometimes I am not. They and that is true with grown-ups also. Not always you are uh, up to the standard of goodness that you hold for yourself. That this is how I must be, I must do. This is the. But then sometimes I am not sticking to that standard. I commit follies. I get dragged by various desires, and then I do things which later on many times I think I shouldn't have done. I think, oh, I shouldn't have thought like that. I shouldn't have said like that. I shouldn't have done like that. Now these are all the demons. Mm. The demons are not. Why worry about the demons outside? There are plenty within us. So the angel, and we all have good ideas, also good thought. We do good things. There is nobody who has nothing good, and nobody who has nothing bad. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. And this tussle is depicted. Now, good and bad, how to decide? There are ways, like the uh, social moral ways, and then there are the spiritual ways. Social morality is only so far as the society is concerned, that you should do according to the local that legal ideas or norms. That's all. In spiritual world, the social morality uh, is less important. More important is proceeding towards the goal of life. When whatever I am doing is taking me to the goal of life, then I am acting properly, correctly. That is the path. Otherwise, I am not doing the right things. If I am dragged away from the goal, then naturally it is a wrong action. Right and wrong is determined by a goal of life. It is without thinking of goal of life, and there is absolutely no possibility of saying that something is right and something is wrong. There the standard is the goal of life. I tell that one very senior Swami explained it to me, that look, of course, those were 50 years ago, and there were no these GPS and such things then. So, uh, if somebody asks, is this road the right one? The first question that other person will ask is, tell me where you want to go. I don't know. If you don't know where you want to go, then every path is right, every path is wrong. Right means that is that which is taking you towards where you want to reach, and the wrong if it is taking you away from there. So, therefore, we have to judge our actions And so, most important, what Swami Vivekananda greatly emphasizes in his book, Practical Vedanta, a small but tremendously educative book that one has to have goal in life so that all our actions can be given proper orientation. That, okay, that's the goal, come on, we have to go there. It is once while trekking, and the path was not, track was not seen properly. It had rained just then, and then all there was all wet mud, and uh, we lost the way, where, how to go. But through all those trees, the starting point was visible. Means there was a big building there, where we had, near where we had parked. So that provided the way. Whatever takes us closer to that building means we are on track, right? If it is taking us away from that, then we have to think twice. So it is that is to be kept up. Therefore, the spiritual aspirants are always advised, keep the idea that your goal always in sight. Never lose the sight of the goal and follow the track. So, don't lose sight of the goal means not that just keep on looking at it. Move in that direction. So, this was this story that distributing this nectar. And so, after that, the demons became, they didn't get anything. They got terribly irritated, frustrated, angry. What is this? And we were cheated. That in spite of putting in all out efforts with discipline, the demons failed to get Amrita elixir, which was their objective, because they lacked devotion to the supreme reality, the God. Feeling cheated, they fiercely attacked the Devas. Now, this is the war described in chapter 10 and 11. You know, this idea is very important, that is put in our Upanishads and other such texts, Bhagavad Gita, that all these actions, even if we put 100% sincere, meticulous effort, if there is no invoking of the supreme truth, then those actions will not yield the right result. There is a beautiful stanza in the famous Shiva Mahimna Stotra. It describes the greatness of Shiva, a very philosophically very rich hymn. It speaks about the Daksha. Uh, Daksha, it's a very nice story. I don't want to elaborate it now, but what happened, he uh, endeavored to, have a big sacrifice, invited thousands and thousands of guests, all the ingredients, materials, all were collected, and the priests performing that, they were also all arranged. The places, all that was meticulously arranged. So that hymn, that verse says, Kriya daksho dakshah Pashupatirthograsah mahan. That Daksha, who is Kriya Daksha, means very meticulous and attentive in getting the work done. And but as the story goes, he disrespected the Lord. He disrespected Shiva, and therefore, in spite of very meticulously planned and executed ritual, the whole sacrifice got destroyed. And this is an example, that how uh, meticulously planned, sincerely pursued, but then there is no uh, that foundation of God. If you don't have the foundation like a building, a huge edifice, constructed meticulously, all the right kind of material, all the drawings and are all perfectly made, except no foundation. So, what will happen to that building? It will collapse. So, this supreme truth or God, and that foundation has to be built. If without that foundation, these demons therefore lost this their effort to get the nectar, and then they were vanquished also, because now the gods became, the angels became very powerful with that, and then they had to retreat. But then they regrouped. It is often seen in one's own life, and our vices, our bad tendencies get subdued, and the good tendencies come up, and sometimes we feel that, oh, they are gone. No, no, they are gaining strength. They are getting ready to launch a more fierce attack, and so it is these they attacked the devas because of the anger. That anger had put lot of fire in their attacking. They saw that they had been just cheated, and they wanted to avenge that, and so they attacked. And the battle shows that it is for the demons, they gained an upper hand, and then but somehow again they surrendered to Lord, uh, and through uh, the fortunes though fluctuated, finally with the help of Lord, the Devas outclassed the Asuras. One young man, and now he is fairly, uh, late teenager, but then at one time when he was just about 6, 7 years old, he told, I don't like to see the first part of the movies. Ah, why? The logic was wonderful. I don't like to see the first parts of the movies, because during the first part, usually the bad guys are winning. The bad guys are having advancement, and so I skip that. It is they these bad guys, they win, but then they later on the bad guys get conquered by the good guys. Now it is they are the bad guys never get eliminated. Don't think till one realizes God and completely that so called illusion of I is gone. Till then, there are the good guys, there are the bad guys. So one gets victory at one time, another gets victory at some other time. The problem is when the angels they become victorious, they get puffed up. Hmm. When you do well, then you get puffed up. Hey, wow, we attained the victory. And then they start praising each other. Hey, your valor was just exceptional. You did better than what your previous record. And then that other person also, it is a mutual then praise club, you praise me, I praise you, and like that. So it is, and then they become dull, and then they, by that time, the other bad tendencies are regrouping. Now, when these good tendencies, they are just uh, lying, in celebration. Now, the demons find the right time to attack. Therefore, it is seen many times that in the life of spiritual aspirants, that they did something good, they suppress certain bad tendencies. It is good, okay, but don't relax. Don't feel that, hey, you have won the war. You might have won a battle. One battle you might have won, but do not now be complacent because the enemies will be awaiting a second attack. They will be again finding an opportunity, they will attack again. So, these battles, these contain that. Then there is the funny, that is the chapter 12, 10, 11, 12. They, how even the most steadfast Shiva gets influenced by Maya. Because of this story of the Mohini, Shiva was started wondering, what is that? I want to see how that Lord's Maya can cheat everybody. Uh, and then suddenly Shiva sees this Mohini, and gets infatuated by that beautiful female and started forgetting one's true nature, started running after her. Getting the infatuation was so much that his semen fell down, and then that Mohini vanished, and then Shiva remembered, oh well, what was I doing? It is, and he then again assumed his serene appearance. Now that semen, it is said that through that semen a son was born, the son of Vishnu and Shiva. Shiva Vishnu Sutta, that is called Ayyappa. Hmm. Ayyappa. You Andhra people go a lot to the pilgrimage for that. Uh, what is that hill? Sabrimala. Sabrimala. That that is the seat where he lives. Suppose it is assumed that that is his area. So at that Sabrimala, that Ayyappa, the this son of Shiva as well as Vishnu resides. It is the story has this moral that Maya is everywhere. Nobody should ever think that I have conquered Maya. Hmm. It is right in this thought itself there is Maya. I have conquered. That thought itself is Maya. No, Maya cannot cheat me. No, that has already cheated you. When you are thinking like that, that means you have already been cheated by it. So it is this is shown here. Swami Vivekananda says in his book Jnana Yoga, this Maya is everywhere. Maya is terrible. It can just do whatever. All your so called ideas of being moral and spiritual, it doesn't take a second to get all those steamrolled, finished. So that is why this example is important here, that even Shiva, what to speak of this XYZs, Tom, Dick, Harry, no, the Maya just takes over. You may be, giving a big spiritual discourse. Next moment, the Maya may attack you. If you think that, yeah, you are above Maya and you are gone in no time. So, it is that Kabir's one beautiful bhajan is there, that Maya Maha Thagini Ham Jani, that Tirgun Fas Liye Kar Dole, Bole Madhuri Bani, that it is Maya is the terrible cheatress I know. She cheats everybody. She has the uh, what would you call fast, Tirguna fast? Nose. Okay. The nose made of these three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, and speaks very sweet language to attract, and thus you get caught in it. And how pervasive it is, Kabir says, योगी के घर योगिनी होए बैठी. At the home of a yogi, she becomes a yogini and then dilutes him. That Shambhu ke ghar bhavani. So it is everywhere. These are big examples given to show that everywhere that a person who is gets this ego. Yes, I am above this thing. You are not. So this is the story about that very interesting idea, and this next we get here the description of the seven manvantaras that are to follow. So we have seen some, now the other ones are going to be there. We will read just the description and move forward. That it is the manvantara. These are the different time cycles. In Indian, this philosophy, Hindu mythology and philosophy, the time it goes in cycles. There is the creation, preservation, and destruction. So there is a cycle that in every individual's life, that the individual is born, grows, and then declines. Like that song I told sometimes back, Solomon Grande, born on Monday, thistled on Tuesday, married on Wednesday, ill on Thursday, worse on Friday, died on Saturday, buried on Sunday. That is the story of Solomon Grande. So this is the human cycle. That born, but then there is the cycle for a community, a nation. Individuals die, but the community survives longer than that. That also dies. The earth survives. That also was born and goes away. There is the whatever is born has to die. So since the earth came into existence, yeah, for us it has a bigger cycle. That's all. It will also die in spite of all the efforts to protect the environment and all that. One should do that. Please don't misunderstand me. But even in spite of that, the earth is going to be destroyed. Then there is this whole system of stars, these, that, all. That also comes to destruction. So one cycle is completed like that. That is called this one manvantara, one cycle of a particular Manu. Manu is the head of that particular cycle, the authority, controlling authority called Manu. So there are various Manus for different cycles. Like now there will be the story that he is telling is Vaivasvat Manu. Then there is that Savarni Manu, and so many different, I do not remember all the names also. So, uh, all these Manus, they are having, this particular cycle, and then that is described in the 14th chapter, that it is, that what is meant by a Manu, what is a Manvantara. This is the discussion going on between King Parikshit and the sage Shuka. The Raja asked, "O Holy One, please tell me on what works or duties were these Manus commissioned by the Lord during the period of their supremacy?" Shuka said, "O king, the Manus, the sons of Manus, the Saptarshis, Indras, Devas, etc., all function subordinate to the commands of the Lord. The function of the Manus and others is to maintain the world order and its progress under the direction of the divine incarnations like Yajna and others of whom I have spoken to you earlier. Yajna was one incarnation of God, not the sacrifice that we perform. That also gets called Yajna. But this is, we saw that earlier, that Yajna is incarnation of God. So, according to that, at the end of a period of 4 yugas, Chatur Yuga, these Saptarshis, by their this tapas, austerities, would rediscover the Vedas, most of which would have gradually been swallowed by time by the end of that period. By the revival of the Vedas, the eternal dharma would be kept up. O King, the Manus, inspired and directed by this Mahavishnu and endowed with great powers of self control, would in their time set Dharma in motion on all its 4 feet. The sons of Manus, followed by their descendants, as also by the Devas, receiving the Yajna offerings, and their associates join in this work of maintaining the world order. So this is how the Manus, they are managing it with so many agencies under their command, and they are working as per the plan given to them by the Supreme Divine. So these Manus keep on governing this world in that fashion. So it is, uh, so this is the description of the duties of the Manus. So, and when this all these yugas are gone, then there is the Brahma, the life of Brahma is also gone. Brahma is also a born being. He is born, stays for a long, 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 long time. It is the calculations are given here that in Bhagavad Gita appendix also you find those calculations. I don't want to discuss those. I don't remember either. So it is, but it is a huge time that, and thus I mean something like billions of years. So, therefore, the life, that is the life of this supreme creator Brahma. It is not Brahman, Brahma, the separate entity. So that is gone, and then uh, now we begin the great story of how God incarnates as Vamana. The question that the Parikshit asked, we shall read the question and then we shall discontinue today's discussion. We shall take up next Friday. Why did Sri Hari, the Lord of all, ask Mahabali for the 3 feet of earth like a, a miserable beggar? That is a crux, that one important point in this story, that this king Mahabali, from that Mahabali, and the Lord comes there, and then it was said that, oh, what do you want? And then this little boy said, I, whatever little bit, you can give me just 3 steps. The earth that can be measured by 3 steps, that much is good for me. And then it proved to be huge, huge, impossible to give that kind of territory. Sometimes these clever people, they word things beautifully. There was one chess player, so the king was very happy with him and asked, well, what do you want? Well, king, what can I ask? I just need food to eat. I have no other desires. So uh, I play chess. So there are those 64 squares. Mm. So from first square, for first square, give me 1 grain of rice. Then 2 grains, 4 grains, like that up to 64 squares. Give me that much grain. And the king thought, what is this, Uh, this, he said, no, give that much, that's okay. Actually, if you calculate, nobody, even, when I told this story to some mathematics grad students, they said, oh, that will be a small amount. Maybe a pound of rice will be able to do that. You will soon discover, if you calculate, that that much rice does not get produced in millions of years on the whole earth. Try calculating. That is this is called, therefore, this exponential functions. You know that they grow like crazy, like the virus grows. So this is exactly how the virus grows. So before you know, it is so much. So why, this is how this Bali was asked only to give these, and then why did Bali not recognize this thing, and why he put again his head down? Because when you cannot give what was wanted, now I accept defeat. I am your servant, like that. So Uh, so we shall stop today's discussion. We shall take up this Bali. Actually, I had prepared for more, but then it is, we shall take it up next time. Hmm. So let us conclude with this closing chant. In the opening chant is the first verse of Bhagavatam, and this one is the third verse. We were having discussion when in the afternoon. What is the second one? The second one I recited there, but I will not. We don't take it up every now and then. Sometimes I will discuss the second verse also. निगमकल्पतरुर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुर्हो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. O devotees, quaff, quaff to intoxication, this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shuka and mixed with the ambrosia from his words. Any questions? Okay, Jyoti, yes?
Pranam Maharaj. In Shiva Mahimna Stotra, it also says Nahi At. In Shiva Mahimna Stotra, it also says Nahi Atmaramam Vishamriga Trishna Brahmayati. Then isn't that conflicting? And then when Sri Ramakrishna was presented with temptations, he went
Yeah.
into samadhi.
See, these are all therefore the stories to warn us. Nahi swatma ramam vishayamrigatrishna brahmayati. Very correct. Now, if one moves from that being swatma rama means what? The all the bliss is found in Atman, all arama, and that is meaning of swatma arama. That means all the comfort, all the bliss, everything is found only in yourself. No need to think of anything else for happiness. But a person, if starts thinking, then at that time that person is no more Swatmarama and thus goes out. These are illustrations for our understanding. Yeah. Yes, Paul.
I'm curious, Swami, what is the mission or the quality of the Manu that's presiding now?
What is the mission
Yeah, or his quality or its quality.
of the Manu who is presiding now?
Yeah.
Well, that is something, I am not uh, competent to answer that question. When I meet that Mano, I will ask him, and then I'll get some knowledge about it. The Manu, in general, as described in the book, is a person of tremendous devotion to God and feels that God gives all the powers as per need. When God gives you some work, then God gives the power also to do that work. It is that many times when we in our order have postings, that some Swami says, well, I don't know that, how can I do that kind of work? I am not, never did it before. Now this is a very nice excuse. Oh, I have never done it before. A little baby may say, I have never walked before. Does it mean that I am not going to walk anymore? You have to learn. So learn. And the one who has given you legs will teach you to walk also. So it is like that we are told. The one who gives you the work will give you the capability of doing those works also. So the Manu, when we have ego, oh, I will do it. No, then there is a flaw. Think of that God who is source of all power, and that will fill you with power. You will do wonders. It is so that Manu is that kind of entity, and thus full of tremendous wisdom, being connected with the source of strength, source of wisdom. The Manus become immensely capable of carrying out the functions. They include, having the uh, good people, bad people, good becoming bad, bad becoming good, and so forth, the various combinations, and the world continues, and then it has a decline. And it is described, and there are the uh, huge famines set in, and the people die, the other creatures also die. Then there are the cosmic events that make many stars and planets crumble, and that is how that which came in existence goes back to its source. That is how the Manu does the job. It is in long back we saw that the Manu was told to create. You must populate this earth. Now it therefore had these with Brahma in coordination, that Brahma was the beginner of all this at that time. So the Brahma produced first some four sons, but they never had any desire. So first is the production immediately merged with God, so could not procreate. Then the next experiment, the four sons, these are four Kumars, that Sanak, Sanandan, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumar. They decided not to go after the worldly pleasures, didn't have any such tendency, so they also could not procreate. So gradually learning, these experiments made him learn, okay, this is not the way. So thus he got this creation going on. So that is how they create. Yeah. Any other question? Is he upstairs? Any question?
Yes. Two questions.
Okay.
First question from Atman.
From
Atman.
Atman. Namaskar, Atman.
Is there a Manu of each country or each planet?
Is there a? No, it is neither one country nor one planet. It is the that whole creation with all multiple planets and multiple solar systems, multiple black holes, and whatever you may think of, and one Manu to govern that. Yeah. Thank you. Any other question?
Yes. Question from Taraswin.
Namaskar, Tharaswin.
Pranam. Why has the one become many or is that a delusion too?
Oh, yes, your second this thing concludes correctly that one can never become many. So it never really became many. It was an illusion. And how, why? There is no why. When we ask this question, we are committing a big folly that why one became many. The question why needs three things. So when in the domain one, in one the why, how, when, all these things do not have any scope. It is only in multiplicity these questions can be answered. That how. So about one you have no way to ask also this question. As Swami Vivekananda in the book Jnana Yoga says, you want a logical answer to this question, first put the question logically. It is when you say one, that means nothing is there to act on it, and nothing is there to control it, to limit it. There is nothing apart from it. So it there is no becoming for that. So there is your question is itself being illogical. You cannot expect a logical answer. Yeah. Okay, then let us conclude with the closing bhajan. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल। कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। Bless you. Oh, how many blessings do you want? How many blessings do you want? After I said bless you, again one more.